Jason Momoa, shirtless.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes. Like a doll's eyes.
I love this town!
Hello, city!
Greetings, programs. Welcome to the City of Geek podcast, episode 2, Fall Movie Preview, where myself, being Bob, Cody, and Kim talk about upcoming movies coming out this fall. I just wanted to record a separate introduction just to give a clarification that our website is CityofGeek.com, and you can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at City of Geek for other news, articles, reviews that we are talking about that we don't post up onto CityofGeek.com directly, but make sure to bookmark and favorite us on all of those. And thank you, and enjoy the show. And remember to save us to your favorites and see when new episodes come out the 1st and 15th of every month. Welcome to episode 2 of City of Geek podcast, and we're here to blab on to you guys about upcoming films and everything we want to talk about for the 4 of you that will listen. The 3 of us plus one other person probably.
Probably my mom. Yeah,
both of their moms.
Because I wasn't on the last one, so my mom was like, fuck those guys. But she might listen to this one. No, she loves you both dearly. But she says, no, I don't give a fuck unless you're talking, so, you know.
And, and those who listened last time, all 4 of those, which are probably the 2 of us, Nicole and Carolyn.
Pretty much.
Or your mom, maybe.
I still haven't shown her how to, access Facebook.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Small steps.
Small steps.
Just warn.
But this time we do have Kim with us. So
I'm back from East.
She came to join us in our little escapade. We're a new site. We've all written for other sites in the past, and we're still do and still work on other things. So since if people actually tune in more this time, it might be just brand new. So we're just going to introduce ourselves, what we've done, and our process here. So at City of Geek, we're looking at putting out this podcast, reviews, news. Everything geek related as the name would show. We're based out of Seattle. One best city of geek there is out there. I know you're in Tacoma, but close enough.
Oh man.
Yeah, the Tacoma. So I am Bob Foster, and
the Bob Foster.
The Bob Foster.
Bob Foster.
and I wrote for I had my own site for a while, geeknamebob.com, and then wrote a little for Watch Play Read. So go check that out. And then here and there in other places. So you can find that online by giving the search. Or okay, Cody.
I am Cody Masco. I am from Tacoma, the better of the SeaTac area.
By better you mean more crime, right?
Hey, I live in South Tacoma, and I've only seen 3 dead bodies in a year. That's a good year.
Hey.
And only 2 of them he caused.
Yeah, only 2. Only 2. Don't walk at night with black clothing on. You will get run over. Not by me, but by somebody. I used to write kind of for morbidmovies.com. They kind of, unfortunately, have stopped posting. And I do guest write on occasion for Horror and Sons. I've actually got a new piece probably coming out there in October about Creepshow that I still haven't written, and the deadline's 2 days away, so I got to cram that in tomorrow.
That's what she said.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's what she said, Carolyn.
I literally, because Kim's the one that said it, so I'll take credit for that. Hello, my name is Kim. Formerly the Supernatural Honey from the Horror Honeys. Rest in peace, horrorhoneys.com. I work also as a paranormal investigator with Spooked in Seattle, do haunted tours, and I teach children's theater, which is probably the scariest of all the things I do. I'm currently in the midst of 100 Days of Horror. The 100 days before Halloween, I watch 100 horror films I have never seen and write about it, complain about it, sometimes cry about it in the corner. Currently in denial that I'm behind, and I've been watching Deadwood.
That's the title, so.
But I've seen it before, so and it's a TV show, so it don't count. But I'm like a junkie. I'm just gonna watch an episode to just to get me through. And then I just finished the first season again, and I'm like, shit, I have to keep watching this because it's so...
2 more seasons and eventually a movie.
So good! It's so good! If you've never watched Deadwood, what is wrong with you? No. It's really a spectacular show, and I am now stoked for the movie, which I was just reading up on. They're going to start filming, I believe, October 5th.
Nice. They've been talking about it forever, so I'm glad it's finally
There's
happening.
a completed script. They've got, I believe, almost all of the original cast is going to be back, minus a few people who have passed away. And what's his name, who's on the show, Bosch. He won't.
Is it Titus Welliver?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
because he
got
who
lost,
played
Man in Black.
Yeah, and he will not be back because of his TV show, and they're not gonna recast. They're just gonna. He's just not gonna be there. The writing is spectacular, but the acting is really, really tight, really phenomenal, and so it's very stylized, and most of the actors make it look not stylized, and that's a really hard thing to accomplish. So.
Because you're dealing with something from the past, and especially a localized area.
And Milch is very specific in his language and his rhythm, and was very, very precise. It was part of what I was reading about was, the interviewer was asking, did you ever improvise? And they were like, oh, hell no, you did not improvise his work. Like, the stuff that happened was so heavily scripted. And that's a feat. The rhythm to the language is so specific, it has almost a Shakespearean quality to it. Which, I think is really unique, and making a show be commercially accessible with that kind of language. And granted, they say cocksucker every other word, so that helps. But I always enjoy when you can take something that is stylized and specific and elevated and make it commercially accessible. I feel the same way about the first season of Twin Peaks, which was a David Lynch at the time was not exactly somebody you thought of when you thought of commercial television. Anyway, that's my soapbox about returning TV shows. There you go.
Yeah, everything comes back around eventually. All the old TV shows are coming back. Deadwood's not that old, but Twin Peaks came back.
Murphy Brown this week.
Gilmore Girls came back. That was exciting for me.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm excited about Murphy Brown on Thursday, even though the early reviews are kind of, but it's Murphy Brown.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was. I know they were working on it. I didn't realize it was coming out
Thursday.
already.
I mean, if they're gonna do all of these revivals, I need King of the Hill. Come on.
Mike Judge has nothing better to do. Everything else he does kind of comes and goes.
He goes on InfoWars a lot. I know that. That kind of like he is just Dale Gribble apparently.
And the speaking of like old things coming back, announced today. Well, today's the 25th, but we're going to try to put out podcasts on the 1st and 15th of every month. So some of the stuff we'll be talking about that just happened now will be in the past for everyone who might be listening, including some of the movies we're talking about in a bit. But so today was released. They announced that Mystery Science Theater 2000 season 12 is going to premiere, fitting enough on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
They're known for their Thanksgiving marathons.
I like their Thanksgiving marathons.
Back in the day, and they still do it on Pluto TV and such. So they're going to drop I think they're still just dropping all the episodes at once, which is something I would prefer to wait week by week, so I don't get overwhelmed and my wife doesn't hate me. My wife can take so much Mystery Science at once, so much Riff Tracks at once. So I know we'll be in Disney during Thanksgiving, so I'll have to wait a couple of days where I get to watch it, because I'm sure that I won't be allowed to watch it in line at various rides.
I mean, you can try.
Also around the holidays, I know Joe Bob Briggs is doing on...
on Shudder,
Shudder series.
Speaking of old things becoming new again. Yeah, it was really disappointing. He was actually up here. He was in Port Orchard.
Seriously?
Last Crypticon.
Yeah. Same weekend as Crypticon. He was there for the Port Orchard Film Festival.
Oh.
And I was at the Dragonfly where they held that last week for a friend's wedding. And I was talking to someone who works for the theater, and they said they're planning on doing another horror festival again next year. I'm like, well, why do you have to do it Crypticon weekend? Why do you guys come to Crypticon?
Here, like, that seems...
Shooting themselves in their foot.
Yeah, because they're going to be attracting a lot of the same audiences, and I feel like for a lot of people, Crypticon's going to win.
Oh, yeah, Crypticon always wins.
Maybe I could talk him into something else. I'll talk to the friend who works there and be like, hey,
come on,
change a week. Because he used to come to Crypticon. He was on the Rocky Horror Cast.
I was going to say, yeah.
My buddy Josh, who just got married, so. So we went out to Port Orchard and got married at the Dragonfly, so it's pretty cool. Because they're both on the Rocky Horror Cast out there.
Oh, nice.
Also announced today, that I was really surprised to see and really happy to see, Happy Death Day 2 Not only is Happy Death Day getting a sequel, is it's coming out in 5 months. So
Oh, wow.
they've been
They're
kind of working
fast-tracking
on it under. I think it's like halfway filmed, if I remember right.
It's already filmed.
Oh,
I've
wow.
been reading
So they kind of did it low key.
Blumhouse is just like, yeah, we filmed these 2 movies. They'll be coming out soon.
The guy outside agrees too. The honky picks up. You too, buddy.
Thank you, downtown Seattle.
Happy Death Day came out last year and surprised the hell out of me how good it was.
It was so charming.
Still have yet to see it.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's like
Heard
people
good.
may say about the trailer, but it plays it really well. It knows exactly what it wants to be.
It knows exactly what it is, and it doesn't try to be highbrow horror. It's just a fun time, and it's also low key enough that like. It's the kind of movie that some of my non-horror, especially some of my non-horror female friends, I feel being like, you know what, if you want a good scary movie to have on while we're all sitting around drinking wine, not that I ever do that, but I do that.
Yes.
Who am I kidding? But it's one that is really accessible to horror and non-horror fans.
Because it's PG, it's PG-13.
Yeah, it's not...
Even as a slasher film, and it doesn't really... There's only like a couple of points where I realize, oh yeah, this is PG-13, where I cut away from certain things, but it's perfectly fine as it is.
Yeah. And I mean, gore is not the be-all, end-all of horror either.
It helps with slashers, but...
but I mean, like, I grew up watching edited for television slashers, and that's how I first got into slashers and scary movies. And so especially for somebody who's not as accustomed to the level of gore as some of us may be, using that as a gateway gore.
Yeah. Gateway gore, yeah.
Gateway gore.
What you guys don't
that's
show
the first time I
Cannibal
saw
Holocaust every Christmas? That's like our Christmas story.
Fun story.
You have turtle soup.
I've gotten, and each time I start to watch it, I get a little further in, so I think I've gotten 5 minutes into it now. I still can't get... It's been on my 100 Days of Horror list forever. I wrote an article for Belladonna that was all about my inability to watch that movie, specifically relating to the animal deaths.
Yeah.
That's
I skip past every time I watch it.
I do too. I mean, the rest of the movie, I mean, I guess it plays into the film's larger message, but still, you just went and killed a bunch of animals.
No, even the director now, he's like, yeah, that was fucked. It was a stupid thing for me to do.
Yeah,
I was going for the shock.
Stupid decision.
But it was the 70s. I don't know.
And the DVDs now, you can play the last DVD I have it. You can play the non-torture version.
The non-torture,
it just
cutting
plays
out all the...
It automatically cuts it. You don't have to skip it yourself. It just does it.
Which I've been on the fence as to whether or not I can watch that version and count it accurately for my 100 Days of Horror.
I won't tell if you don't.
No one tell. No, because it's one of those ones that I feel like it's a significant film. It's one that I should watch at some point as a horror fan and as somebody who writes about horror and talks about horror and et cetera, and so forth. But
But there's enough gaps in there. So we still have several years, 100 Days of Horror.
Yeah, I'll be fine for a while.
Definitely kind of birthed the found footage genre.
Oh yeah. You're looking at really the early stages of the found footage genre.
Yeah.
And that's part of why I find it significant is because I'm a big fan of found footage genre.
Me as well. I get a lot of shit for that.
Oh, I get so much shit for it, and I'm unapologetic in my love of found footage because I feel like I'm constantly asked, what scares you? And I'm like, well, not Jason Voorhees and not something that is obvious. Like, they're obviously movies. And found footage is one of the few genres where you might still be surprised. You might still get those moments that feel really real. I saw Blair Witch Project in the theaters because, yes, I am that old. And it was creepy. It was
it worked.
Creepy. It was so effective. The marketing worked for it, too. And it felt real. And that's something that, when you can replicate that feeling, is remarkable. It doesn't happen a lot, mind you, but I say Hell House LLC. That movie is the first time in a while that I got the chills.
You happened to see the sequel. Reddit hated it for sure.
Oh, fuck Reddit.
I loved it.
Don't dox me.
Don't.
Please.
Please, Reddit.
Please, gods of Reddit, I take it back. You're amazing.
I really, really liked it. Because I love the world that the first one built.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, it's just garbage. No. It built a really good world.
The ending to me was the weakest part of it, but the scares going into it, the world they built were solid.
There's some, and they definitely expand on the lore. This is definitely a lore expanding film.
Lovely.
And I think it does deal with a couple of the common complaints, especially like stuff regarding the basement and all that. And there is some genuinely creepy ass shit in the movie.
Is it the same like group of people in a different way, or kind of similar story in a different location? Because this is a hotel, right?
So basically, it's kind of like in the future. You see parts that are shot from the original cast.
Okay.
You see parts that are shot there after the hotel's been run down. And you definitely get backstory on why they were there. In the first movie, you get more backstory on the hotel itself, what it is.
The same location. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same location, except it's now run down and everything. And I think it's creepier. And I definitely like because the first part of it kind of plays out like an anthology. You see, they call it Hell House Fallout, and you see all of these different things that have happened since the movie came out in universe. So you get to see all these different like clips of people who've either gone missing or have uploaded their stuff.
Which I love as a device. I personly love it when movies do that. When they acknowledge the first film.
Except Blair Witch 2, maybe.
Okay, dirty little secret. I secretly adore Blair Witch 2. Because it's god-awful, and I love it.
Oh,
anyway.
it's a terrible movie.
I know, but I love its terribleness.
I
delight in its terribleness. I, bathe in the blood of its terribleness, and it keeps me young.
Fair enough.
And of other things that we've watched recently, I just want to throw out there Mandy, which I wrote a review about online. I cannot stop thinking about this movie. Seeing it in the crowded theater was amazing, but it's now available on VOD, and everyone keeps talking about it. If you guys haven't seen Mandy.
I haven't yet. My brother and I have a date to watch it together.
And I pre-ordered the Blu-ray as soon as I got home, so I can't wait to show up.
It's like Category 5 Nick Cage is what I've heard.
I've heard
it's the Nick Cage you want to see in other movies, because people always talk about Nick Cage going insane.
Is it up there with him punching the bear and Whipperman?
It's above that. It's above. It's like think Vampire's Kiss Nick Cage to the next level. Because Vampire's Kiss was the top of that before for me as insane Nick Cage.
It's the ultimate Nickiest, Cagiest.
And the thing that's funny about this one, he actually is the one that he is talked about in pop culture. People bring up stuff like Drive Angry, this and that, where I still think he's reining it in. No, he's just. But it starts out a little slower because it's more
he's off the leash, basically.
About the halfway point, because if you're going to check it out after this, it takes a little while to get to the point you're expecting it to go to, but once it gets there, it just goes into high gear. But the first half's absolutely wonderful, too, but that follows Mandy before everything happens that causes him to go on his rampage. He's kind of in the background for the first half, and then it's his movie for the second half. My friend Mike, when we were watching it afterwards, he said, that the title card comes up actually halfway through the movie, because there's a couple different points where there's various title cards for what's about to happen and people we meet, and it's all in this style like the books you'd see in paperbacks from hell, the 80s fantasy horror stuff. So it's in that era. Like I messaged Will Erickson, one of the co-writers of Paperbacks from Hell, and he has his blog, Too Much Horror Fiction. It's like, dude, you're gonna love this. Check us out. I name dropped in the review and sent him a link. But that's it's going through the circuit now. But it's on. You can rent it on Amazon if you're in the Seattle area. It's playing at SIFF. I think it continued another week. They extended it at least till Thursday, and recording us Tuesday and putting it out on Monday. So I don't know where I'll be at the point.
Down in Tacoma as well.
The Rand has it. Cool.
I'm trying to get there, but unfortunately, I have a weird. And that's not too weird of a work schedule, but.
Kim, have you watched anything fun for 100 Days of Horror, or generally outside of Deadwood?
Outside of Deadwood. I mean, to be fair, this is usually a point in the process where my brain starts to be like, can we watch something else for a while? And it's impressed because I think last time it was Elf for a whole weekend, just Elf on repeat. So this is maybe an improvement. I just watched Stephanie, which we were talking a little bit about, which I actually enjoyed. It was much better than I thought it was going to be, which I know sounds like a weird qualifier to be like, oh, I thought it was going to be awful, but a lot
David Goyer directed it. Of course it's going to be awful.
Yeah, and I thought...
Or was it Kiva Goldsman? One of the two. I think it was Kiva Goldsman.
It was, the first half was really solid, and I thought the little girl actress, too, was she was likable. She wasn't super obnoxious, and with child actors, that's a legit thing.
Especially one by herself.
By herself. That's hard for a adult actors to pull off. I liked the kind of slow unravel of the mystery. I felt like, and I like the actors that played. There's going to be some spoiler alerts here, so if you don't want to hear this, I'm not like spoiling the whole movie, but when the parents come back, they're good actors. I felt like the plot kind of got away from them afterwards and got very predictable.
And one of the parents is Frank Grillo, who's always fun to watch.
I
remember recognizing in Anna Torv, who I've seen in a couple of things.
Grillo and his voice.
Oh, Anna Torv was in Fringe.
Everything
love.
he says.
Yeah, the one from Fringe. I was like,
I just like listening to his voice. It's kind of like Batman. But that was really solid. I went and saw Lizzie today.
how was that? I think I hear everything we need to know.
No, I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. And I had great expectations for it. I will say, as a woman, something that's been I've had a little bit of a beef with, and I understand that Chloe Sevigny had a big part in getting this movie made, but it keeps being referred to as this like feminist horror film, and I'm like, it's not. In no small part because it's written and directed by a man, and it's really not like there's stuff that resonates, and you're telling a woman's story, and there's some stuff that resonates with the Me Too movement, but it all felt for such a sensational and really batshit story, which if you know the full history of the Borden house and what went on in that house and the story and everything behind it, you don't really have to try to make it interesting. And the angle they took to it, there wasn't enough character development. There was a lot of stuff that fell really, really flat, which again, how you make this story fall flat is really remarkable to me. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And I wanted it to be great. I'd say that, I mean, the acting's fine. Kristen Stewart is, fairly blank. But the character she's playing is mostly just kind of there for the audience to be the new eyes going in, even though she is playing a historical character. Chloe Sevigny is fine as well. Like, she has some good moments, but it just lacks, any real tension. Even though you know what's going to be happening, even leading up to when you know those 40 whacks are going to get delivered. It's not really 40 whacks, but whatever.
The rhyme is.
The rhyme is.
So it has to be the truth.
It was like 17
the internet told
for
me.
The stepmom and like 11 for the dad. Even as you know what's happening, there's no tension. There's nothing, like, there's just, and I don't know if it's also because I'm fairly familiar with her story, but even then, there should have been some build, and it just the whole time was just like right in here. And that's disappointing. And especially Andrew Borden's character, and he was known for being a hard man, he was known for being a miserly man, but the direction they took with it felt very, we need a cardboard cutout evil man. And that isn't interesting. And that, I'm sorry, that does not make a movie feminist. Having two female characters who are, exploring their love for each other, and a father who's also a dick and a rapist, that doesn't make a movie feminist. So, maybe next time, let a woman do it. Maybe it'll be more feminist.
Like the way that Mary Harron made American Psycho palatable.
Yeah. Like,
even though I want to call that movie feminist, but hey, Chloe Sevigny's not that one too. but of something like that, and then making.
Sometimes the only way to make, and it's simply telling a woman's story doesn't make it feminist. Like, I'm glad we're telling women's. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about telling women's stories or focusing on female actors. But you can't do that, slap the feminist label on it and be like, this is super progressive. Like, no, there was really nothing in this movie that's not been done before. In fact, fairly certain there's been versions of it that have touched on some of these things. Probably not the lesbianism, because that wasn't something that got talked about tons outside of the last couple decades. It's been fairly well accepted that that's what was going on. But I guess it's as a woman and as a feminist. Sorry if anyone's offended by that. No, I'm not. You can't just be like, look, we told a girl story. Look at how progressive we are. I'm like, no, that's not how this game works. So I think I got a little turned off by that. Again, it's a solid enough movie. I wouldn't go and see it in theaters. I'd say when it comes out on streaming somewhere, it's worth a watch. It's not bad, but it's not great. So save it till it's on Netflix or Amazon and stream it then.
Maybe Shudder will have it.
Shudder will have it, and then we'll get mad. But don't get that mad if it takes a while. You're fine. You can wait.
Nothing to miss. And,
yeah. I'm kind of bummed that I didn't go see... I was debating between that and Predator, because they were both starting at the same time, and I was like, Predator at least probably would have been fun, even if it was stupid.
It has moments.
Yeah.
It's kind of tensionless as well, and a lot of...
But there's a giant monster in it,
There's
right?
there's some good action sequences, some good kills. It's a little too jokey for... Because one issue I do have with modern movies is right now is, like, everyone has to be funny at all times. And
you'll like Lizzie then. No one's funny at all. Period. There's not an ounce of funny in it ever.
That's kind of like what they do with Batman and Justice League, where he's doing quips and shit. Yeah. It's like, dude, didn't you spend the last movie being tortured?
Predator is all quips, and there's a lot of narrative gaps. Of course, it's getting on Predator for narrative gaps. But I was listening to Chris Stuckman talk about it earlier today, and he was talking about something I didn't realize afterwards, that what didn't fit is that all the commandos in the first movie, after everything starts to go down, they get scared as hell over what they're fighting. And in this one, they're really light about it, like just making jokes. Like, oh, it doesn't matter if there's like 3 monsters and these dogs are chasing us. It's kind of like, we'll make a joke about it. And of course, they're all various forms of PSD and broken. And somehow some of them use it as like Keegan-Michael Key's character is nothing but quips, and that's what his character was.
You can have one character who does that, and it works.
Everyone is funny, besides like Theon, whatever the actor's name, I don't know. Theon Greyjoy's in it, and
I was like, Theon? Oh,
but there's moments.
He has his penis this time, doesn't he?
I don't know. I didn't see it. So we don't see the penis. This isn't. It's no meek. But. Yeah, it didn't quite work. Like, it was fine enough, but it didn't quite chill enough. I expected more out of Shane Black. Shane Black, I usually love. Like, Nice Guys is wonderful. I absolutely adore Iron Man 3. I don't care what anyone says. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is beautiful.
Iron Man. Oh, I like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I actually legit like.
Yeah, it's criminally understated movie.
Probably one of the finest, I think, of his. No, I liked Iron Man 3. I mean, Iron Man 3 was a little bloated, but it was enjoyable. It was entertaining. There was a lot of plot happening, and I feel like a lot of this, which some of the Marvel movies
they have that
suffer from a little bit, that they're trying to do too many plots at once, and I think the most effective ones are the ones that are a little bit more focused. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was never a Spider-Man fan ever.
I was. Spider-Man's my band.
No, wait till let her finish. I was never a Spider-Man fan, mostly because I found like I don't want to re-see the origin story 50 times, and every movie is going over the origin story again, and I found that boring, and I was never particularly engaged in the character. That being said, the newest Spider-Man. And his utter teenageness, skipping the origin story. He's like a giant little puppy. I found Spider-Man Homecoming to be just charming and so much fun. And I really liked what they were doing with it. And part of what I liked was that it was a teen movie. It was a silly, like, you had your villain, but you had all of the, I gotta go to the prom or whatever it is. And
or the homecoming.
The homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming. The doy. But it was sweet, and it had heart, and it sometimes that's, and not all the movies can be, I mean, each one has its own tone, has its own whatever, but it had so much heart, and it was so sweet, and it was clear. It had, if you're going through arcs, you're going through everything, it had this very clear journey.
It can't be watched without the rest of the MCU. And, of course, then Michael Keaton being legit terrifying. And
Yeah. And who, I mean, and I think that's it. You're anchoring it too with some really solid actors. But they've cast an actor who's also young but very capable of holding up his own franchise. And that's not something that every teenager can do. Tom
Holland's got it.
No, he does.
As soon as he appeared on screen in Civil War, that's it.
Yeah, because he's utterly charming, and there's just something about the happy-go-lucky and it's so sweet, and you can't help but smile. And it's talking too much. I mean, I identify with anyone who talks too much.
No, really.
Why?
No, like in the one of my favorite things in Civil War is what you talked about with the origin story. He said, "What happens? Like, it's a long story. Don't worry about it." It's like because we all know,
knows,
we don't need to see Martha and Thomas Wayne get shot again.
No,
it's like we know what happens in Batman. We don't need to see the string of pearls fall on the ground and Joe Chill shoot and run away, or the Joker in the 1989 version. We don't need to see that. And but actually, talking about Spider-Man brings us. Kind of segues right into our actual main topic today of talking about the films that are coming out this fall that we're interested in. And if we kind of go chronologically, probably might be one of the best ways to go about that is after this comes out, the first weekend, one of the first things we have is Venom.
Yeah, I'm in.
I'm up for it. It kind of looks like it should have been made, and it looks like it was made in 2002.
I know. That's part of why I'm in. Early 2000s, baby. It may not be good. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I'm in.
I'm in the same boat. I can't say it's gonna be great, and I still don't know what the hell they're doing with that universe. Is it technically in the Marvel universe?
I was wondering that myself. Actually,
no, I think it's its own side thing. But apparently, there's one reason it's PG-13 is that was something that Marvel said that if you ever want to have Tom Holland in here, we have to keep it non-R. Just in case they want to in the future.
Dude, what if we want Deadpool in? Then can we make it R? Can we just put Deadpool in everything and make it R then? Because I'd like that.
I wish Marvel had just bought everything from Sony. You got really good villains with like the Green Goblin and Venom and all of that, and even Carnage.
Yeah.
The Sinister Six, Dr. Octopus, all of that.
But they tried. Of course, they tried to shove them all in the last time.
That didn't turn out too well.
Fucking Paul Giamatti as the Rhino. Fuck that movie. I hated that movie.
I don't think anyone liked it.
No. It was unnecessary.
I will say my fiance cried hardcore when Gwen Stacy died, and I just kind of laughed.
Spoiler, something happened in 1964.
The funny thing is that was the day I proposed to her, when we went and saw that. And then she's like crying and everything. I'm like, look at that Green Goblin's fucking face. And they that movie was just fucking terrible.
It was a train wreck. It was an absolute train wreck.
Jamie Foxx playing like a weird child molester version of Electro
with that weird soundtrack. It appears to be his thought process, but hopefully Venom will be better if maybe their solution to too many villains' problem is making the villain the only person in it.
But what's with the villain, the Venom voice? It's up there with the Bane voice from the Batman movie.
Tom Hardy in his voice.
What is it? He has the worst luck with that because
he's better when he's just grunting. The only time he's actually
he grunts very well.
But he was eloquent and wonderful in Bronson in 2008 or so, Nicholas Rafin's first film. He spends the entire film talking, which is weird for Tom Hardy.
Because I'd totally watch a movie of him just grunting. I'd be fine with that.
He was
so
good
many
in
levels.
Max, though. I thought.
Yeah, but that was
that was talking he had to do in that movie.
That was grunting.
Yeah. He grunts amazingly. So well.
Max, my name is Max.
Man, I'm still in the camp that Bane voice fucked that movie up.
Oh, I giggled every time he spoke.
The thing is, if you remember like the first shower for that, when they showed that opening sequence, it was more. And then like by the time it came out online, they cleaned it up much. I remember I was laughing so hard at
ripping it to pieces.
I went home and showed the trailer to my now wife. Like, listen to this. She's like, I can understand them. What are you talking about? I was like, no, it was worse. Yeah. It was worse. I swear.
It used to be worse.
And within the course of like 2 days, they got it better. But
it
we'll
was
see.
Still utterly ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
But we'll have to see how Venom goes. If not, it's a turd rolling down the the street or whatever the hell it is.
Oh god, a bird in the wind.
Yeah, whatever. I watched that trailer like, what? And then like a day later, How It Should Have Ended, like just parodied that for like a good like 6 minutes. Like that was probably the fastest video they've ever done. So go check out How It Should Have Ended's take on the end of that trailer of Venom trying to do all these not colloquialisms of like these things that make no sense. And then also coming out that weekend, another origin story of a different way, which I'm glad to finally come out because this trailer is played in front of every single movie I've seen since Ocean's 8. A Star Is Born, which isn't a geek movie, but I'm actually excited for it.
I'm in on it because I really do like Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I don't really even like Bradley Cooper that much.
I'm kind of indifferent to him and his face. Mostly his face.
I never thought The Hangover was funny. I never thought The Hangover 2 was funny.
I've never seen them.
They're just not fun. It's like Zach Galifianakis being weird and...
Yeah, he can do that with ferns.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, everybody was like, oh my god, my brother is like, he showed it to me.
It's something that the bros like jumped on, but...
Yeah, he jumped on it hardcore. He's a weird kind of bro that flies a Confederate flag despite being born in Tacoma.
But it did, going back to the movie itself, it did premiere at TIFF recently.
It's been getting good
solid
buzz,
reviews. And,
this is the fourth time A Star Is Born has been remade.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any of them.
Although
so.
I just can't
that's why, because Judy's my girl.
I'm going to go back and catch up to them later. But apparently this one's more... Like, story-wise is based upon that one, but does the music angle of the Chris Christopherson one?
Except country?
So it's going to be taking aspects of the second and third one. Yeah. I don't think anyone remembers the first.
I just can't picture Bradley Cooper with a southern accent for some reason. So whenever he goes, you know, you play that song that I like, okay? I'm like, ew. Gross.
Sound like someone's drunk uncle.
I'm like, dude,
he's an alcoholic in it.
Well, there you go. So he was in character.
Yeah, exactly. And then, that's slightly southern accent for Chris Kyle, even though Chris was from the north, I think.
I will not watch American Sniper.
Don't. It makes me mad.
Because that dude was a real life monster, and he gets glorified by that.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, Matilda.
And if I guess if you have a problem with that, you can probably suck it, I guess.
And then
It's the technical term.
Then moving on to other from that weekend was actually see it's on your list. There's the Hate You Give.
This is fun. Not the movie, but the trailer I've seen it in front of. So I went to go see Death of a Nation. I think I said this in the last podcast. The absolute worst fucking movie of the year. And it's me, my fiance, and a bunch of old white people because I love going to those shitty religious movies and the shitty Dinesh. Mm-hmm. And my fiance, we see that trailer, and these white people are just... I'm white too. I'm saying that like I'm not. No, they're just like stone faced, like blue lives matter. And my fiance just starts awkwardly clapping, and they just glance over at us, and I'm just look up. I'm like, I'm not here for fun. I'm here because I need to see this movie because it is that bad, and it was. I just saw Fahrenheit 11/9 that just came out.
Yeah, it did. I was curious about that because I've read some mixed things. I've read some people who said it's worth seeing and some who are like, no.
It's worth seeing. Michael Moore is very divisive. I like Michael Moore overall. I enjoy the fact that he takes a giant truck filled with Flint water and sprays down the governor's mansion in Michigan, you know, and he's not willing to pull any punches.
No, it's true. It's true.
It's like a Dinesh D'Souza movie. Take it with some, hefty skepticism on some things, but he calls it down the middle, at least with the Flint water crisis, because he was there.
Right.
It was really good, and I think it was a movie that you should at least see. I mean, if you hate Trump, see it. Yeah. If you don't hate Trump, why are you listening to this podcast?
To hear the sirens in the background. Yes.
In Seattle. And then moving on to October 12th, the next week, is something I'm incredibly excited for. The Bad Times of the El Royale.
Yeah.
The film from Drew Goddard. It's going to look like an absolute blast. Jeff Bridges, John Hamm, Dakota Fanning. A bunch of other people. Dakota Johnson, yes, I mean.
When is I'm blanking on the title. The horror. It's a horror movie.
It's also Goosebumps that weekend. I thought you were talking about. I don't know.
No, Goosebumps. No. I am so excited for that.
Fist bumps or Goosebumps.
Boom.
The first movie's so damn good.
I think it was overhyped to me because I didn't see it till it was out of theaters, and I kept getting told how awesome it was, and I watched it, and I was like, meh.
Of course, this one kind of looks like the same plot as the first one, from what I can
Yeah, it
tell.
kinda looks
I haven't
like-
seen a direct trailer for it.
Kind of looks like the exact same movie. But, you know, as long
one
as
the
they
kids
do
admit.
something different with it, I suppose.
It's the carnival, the...
Oh,
Hellfest. That
Hellfest.
actually comes
That's
out this
about
weekend.
this particular
Okay,
weekend.
that's
So
what
by
I
the time this
thought. I was
comes
gonna
out, I've
say.
already played.
Okay,
With our,
I'm stoked about that. I'm real stoked about
friend
that.
of Crypticon, Seth Sherwood writing it, who wrote Leatherface that came out last year,
Yeah.
and Allison looks like an absolute blast. I cannot wait for Hellfest.
a good time.
It's playing at a couple different theaters around here. Some this weekend. My ass will be in that seat.
I will do my best to get out and see it. I really do want to see it. I also want to see Night School.
Yeah, that's also this weekend. And
I
it
have
looks hysterical.
It does look funny. It really does look funny.
I hate Kevin Hart. This movie looks like it's going to kill.
Because he's like in the scene that I don't know for some reason just not resonated with me, but made me fucking laugh. Is when he's dressed up like the chicken at that weird Christian chicken place. He's like, honk if you love chicken or the Lord. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna weirdly laugh at this movie.
Some of his jokes are, I'm short, and I'm short. It's like, okay, we get it, dude.
Yeah.
It's like,
At least he's gonna get his ass beat in the movie.
yeah, it's like, bye Tiffany Haddish.
Who is just in everything.
Yeah,
I'm totally
she's in
fine
like
with
12
that.
things this fall.
Yeah.
She's in that, the new Tyler Perry movie.
She was in Uncle Drew.
Something, The Oath, that comes out soon.
The sleeper hit of the year, Uncle Drew.
And also this weekend, besides Hellfest and Night School, Smallfoot looks like crap if you ask me.
Fuck. I want to see it because that is going to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
And something that doesn't look like a hot mess that looks really cool for me, at least, is the Old Man and the Gun, the new Redford Sissy Spacek movie.
Oh, yeah.
From the guy who made Ghost Story and Pete's Dragon. So
I
we'll see
really
how that
liked
goes.
Pete's Dragon. I thought that was a good movie. I saw that in 3D because it was the only showing that was in, and I do not regret seeing it.
I never got around to it. I intend on at some
It's
point.
actually pretty good. I mean, it's about a dragon named Pete. So.
It delivered.
It delivered.
That's good. That's what's
It's good.
important.
As long as it's better than, I don't like the 1970s one, so I'll see if the new one goes. And then moving on to October 19th, there's something that you guys might have heard of.
Oh, is it like an indie movie coming out or something?
Yeah, it's a small
isn't
independent
it?
feature that
Yeah.
it's called The Guilty. No, actually does come out that weekend, which is really good. It's all I said. But it's Halloween.
Yeah.
You guys heard of this? I don't know.
No.
Yeah, apparently it's a 40-year later sequel of. Apparently there's like 9 other movies in the series. It's been remade before, and it's 40 years later. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
It's not ringing a bell.
Yeah, it's like
No.
we haven't
The one
written
with
like
the dude
4
in the
articles
hockey
about
mask?
it. No, it's he goes in your dreams with
the
a
knives with
slice.
the
Yeah.
hair. It's got a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, Halloween is the most.
Yeah.
It's something I'm looking forward to more. Like I'm looking more forward to Halloween this year than it was for Star Wars last year, and you guys know how much of a Star Wars geek I am. Like,
That's intense.
if it was came between like Halloween and The Last Jedi before it came out, I'd probably stick for Halloween. That's how much I am.
I'm hoping
Fighting
it's
for this.
successful because I really want to see more modern takes on Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. And I think with
Because they haven't successfully done that yet.
Yeah, because this one looks like it's trying. You definitely get the feel of
The
the
originals, and I would really think with Robert Englund putting the makeup back on when he said he wouldn't. It's for the Goldbergs, but still, I think if Halloween does well, and
They make him a good offer.
I'm like you wouldn't say no if I backed up to your house with a dump truck full of money.
I don't know what's how much money they're offering over at ABC for that stuff, because they get Rick Moranis to come out of retirement to voice.
Jesus
But some
Christ.
of it might just be if you, the right script, the right project, the right nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Because people are a sucker for nostalgia.
Oh fuck.
And shooting a television show over the course of a week is really different than committing to a couple months of shooting a movie.
Yeah.
And all that comes
in
with
the case
it.
of Rick Moranis, that was just his voice because someone else was in the
Exactly.
suit.
Yeah.
My friend Bernie actually owns that suit, so they actually rented it from him for the
funny.
movie.
But it makes a difference.
But the Halloween I think is going to be obviously I think it's going to be great.
Every time the trailer plays,
it's-
it gets the
It
feel of
really
it.
does have the feel of the movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
getting everyone. I know Nick Castle didn't play the Shape the entirety of the new movie, but getting him back to get a lot of that.
Yeah.
At least he's in for at least one shot. He's in it, right?
And especially the newer trailer. You feel the ghost of Donald Pleasance in Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Like, you feel the channeling of the kind of crazy raving older person now, and it's.
I think my theory is that British guy somehow related to Loomis.
I don't know.
We'll find out.
That was kind of my theory.
I mean, I'm fine if they don't.
For
yeah,
that. I didn't even read the Rue Morgue article.
If it's just like, other than referencing the doctor and he's now passed, I'm fine if that's all there is about. I mean, because I don't think you need to. You
don't have to go too heavy on it.
I don't want them to be like, not everything has to have a connection or descendant. Like, that's where unpopular opinion potentially, but then acknowledging that, like, in the original, he was never her brother.
Yeah, that's a nice thing that they're kind of retconning.
It's weird hearing people complain, get confused about that. It's like
the second movie's the one that retconned that and said, "Oh no, look, they're related." No, they never were.
Then I think a lot of people who are like, "No, I remember the first movie I could watch in the TV edit, where it's in the TV edit,
where they added it in."
Yeah, of her going in and looking at him, which first time I ever saw Halloween was on USA Up All Night, so I used to the scenes. I watched it for real for the first time, like. Where's those other scenes? Yeah. Where's him staring out the window? Where's Laurie coming in to visit him? Or that might have been the Halloween 2.
That was in Halloween 2.
Halloween 2 TV edit. But that's where I first saw both those movies on Up All Night, like a double feature. And then,
I don't know anybody who thinks the movie's going to be bad.
There's people.
Most of the horror honeys. Yeah.
I think
they're
there's
not
a lot
optimistic.
I think there's a lot of people just generally like dismissive of any project like this.
I'm not like. I'm excited for it because I want to see what they do. I'm also not going in with hugely high expectations because that tends to not end well. But I think if nothing else, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I think, and if for no other reason, again, I have a deep love of Jamie Lee Curtis, and so I have a feeling just watching her is going to be worth it, even if there's other problems. Although early buzz has been...
Mostly really positive.
Mostly positive.
Yeah, it's been like a Metacritic. It's hovering between the high 60s to low 80s, depending on what days more things come up.
Hi.
And then when it comes to horror reviews, always take them with a grain of salt in a way, because there's a lot of people who just dismiss the genre, even if it is something like Halloween, and there's people dismissing because it's another Halloween movie. But it's been forever since the last one, and how long it's been since? Well, Resurrection doesn't count, right? Well, nothing counts anymore.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Shut up. You're fired. And then if you want to hear us talk more about Halloween, that is the topic of next podcast, is going through the series. So we can...
I will fight Bob over Resurrection, which I actually enjoy.
And somehow both of you like 5, but that's just a preview for
4
next
and
time.
5.
I like
4
4
and 5. I love both of those.
I will watch Resurrection. I tend to skip the beginning because I get real upset with the Jamie Lee Curtis death scene, so I fast forward through that, and then I'm fine with it just being a crappy movie, as a crappy fun movie. It's sort of how I can watch the Halloween, the Rob Zombie ones. If I don't really associate them with the original franchise, they're just sort of standalone,
their own thing. And
their own thing. I'm kind of okay with it.
Halloween.
Yeah. No, I mean there are those sequels that it's like, if not, it's Blair Witch 2. It's just kind of a stupid fun movie. Yeah, mission accomplished. It's stupid, but it's fun. When you start connecting it to a franchise as a decent thing, no, it does not hold up. But yeah. And also, Halloween 5's awesome, and Bob is not knowing.
We'll argue about it in 2 weeks.
Halloween 5 is great.
And then there's other things coming out that weekend. It's a Serenity, something with Matthew McConaughey in it. And then Mid-90s, which looks pretty cool with Jonah Hill directing. But moving into the week after that, right before Halloween, the holiday, not the movie, is another remake. Or not remake, but continue. Suspiria. Suspiria. The remake is just Suspiria, which is this film that showed at Fantastic Fest and getting rave reviews as well. Better ones than Halloween.
I'm totally down for it. I've never not been down for it.
Yeah.
Anything Tilda's in, I'm cool for it.
Yeah, Tilda sold.
And I've heard it's really not really like the first one, so.
Like a spiritual remake in a way.
Yeah.
Some of the plot points, but kind of doing its own thing after that, which is the way to go if you ask me.
Well, and then Goblin is coming right after that, actually. And they're doing.
Oh, they come into Seattle, yeah.
Yeah,
Because Tom York's doing the soundtrack. I mean, they say Goblin's coming back to the soundtrack. I'm like, I'm pretty sure someone else did the soundtrack.
No. Goblin actually is coming like right after it comes out. So it's kind of perfect.
Essentially, the year after, like almost the year to the day, is that the other Goblin was here last year.
yeah, pretty much.
Because they were here at the beginning of November last year. So now the other Goblin's coming through this year.
Simonetti's Goblin. And they're actually doing Suspiria with live music.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
Which,
cool.
Northwest Film Forum did last year.
Yeah.
And then
because I missed it
Garber
because I had a late parent.
And they had like 4 showings, and our good friend Tony got to
because he
host Jessica Harper.
I was real bummed.
Thank you, Tony, by the way, for writing an article for our site.
Tony!
Woo! I doubt he's listening, but if you're out there.
if you've made it this far,
everyone out there who's made it this far, thank you.
Yeah, literally, like, we owe you. Not money. We don't have that.
We don't have any. There's
I live in Seattle. It's expensive.
Shit, I live in Tacoma. It's still expensive.
And it's not quite in our genre, but it's talking about stupid movies. If you've seen the trailer for Hunter Killer that comes out that same weekend, the sub movie with Gerard Butler, it looks absolutely ridiculous.
I'm not sure if I've seen that trailer yet.
I saw a second trailer for it recently. It's the same trailer with a lot of the stupid cut out. So I don't know if they realize how bad the first. It's pure jingo. It's a United States submarine has to kidnap and protect the Russian prime minister from people within his own country that are trying to kill him. And Gerard Butler is the captain, and all these dumb action sequences, and looks over the top.
It
and
really sounds
bad.
like Donald Trump like masturbates to that movie.
I'm surprised Peter Berg isn't directing this.
Surprised Dinesh D'Souza isn't.
And then that same weekend is also something called Indivisible, which I'm not familiar with, and somehow a third Johnny English movie.
Oh, Lord.
Wait,
what?
what?
Yeah, the first 2 were bad. Like, I love Rowan Atkinson, but the first 2 were awful.
How the fuck did that even get a sequel? Let alone 2.
Tax credits?
If
it works overall, it worked for...
internationally, if it did...
Yeah, probably as well.
Yeah.
That's why that John Carter movie almost got a sequel, is because Russia, apparently...
Fuck, I like the first John Carter movie.
I didn't see it, to be honest. And, so I don't have, like, an opinion on it, but I know a lot of people I know hated it.
And moving into November, November 2nd has 3 big releases, one of which I don't know. Nobody's full.
I think that's that Tiffany Haddish one.
Oh, is that the one, the Tyler Perry one?
No, I think that's a different one. It might be Tyler Perry. A Tyler Perry presents a Tyler Perry look at Tyler Perry.
Is that really the title?
Oh, fuck, I wish.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. That's the only reason I'm asking.
I see.
Oh, that's one of her
Medea
Missy
movies,
Pyle?
and I won't lie to you. Medea has a special.
Yeah, that's the one that made me laugh with Whoopi Goldberg.
She's like standing in front of her daughter. Mama, you're not over the phone. You can hear. Oh, this connection's so spotty. I'm talking to you right now. Just ducks down. I'll go see that.
Yeah,
I
that
really
one,
like Tiffany Haddish, and I really do like Whoopi Goldberg.
Tiffany Haddish.
The girls trip, right, and everything. I still need to see that.
But Whoopi Goldberg's still weird. Sometimes you'll see weird clips of her, like wanting to have a 3-way with Nancy Pelosi and her husband. So, yeah, that's kind of not a threesome I want.
Well, it could be weirder. It could be the ghost threesome she had with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Now, every time you watch Ghost, remember the fact that when you see Patrick Swayze during the pottery scene, that's actually Whoopi Goldberg with Patrick Swayze's soul in her. It makes things so much weirder.
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, watching that show, I'm like, I turned to my wife and I was like, did a Tyler Perry movie just make me laugh? What is this?
You don't love Medea?
No, I'll take a pass. I'll take a pass.
No.
I mean, it's for some audiences. It seems too direct. It's like too on the nose to me.
Oh,
like, it's like yelling at the back of the auditorium, and that's what I don't like. It's nothing race, nothing. It's just
no.
It's so direct, like looking at you and just like. It's like watching. It's like he's just screaming towards the back row.
Guilty pleasure for me, very guilty, but very pleasurable.
And then that moves us into something that might end up being some weird guilty pleasure of the year for me because it looks so patently ridiculous.
Is it
the Nutcracker?
Yeah.
I mean, There's a part of me that wants to see it, like if nothing else, because you've got
Helen Mirren just chewing the scenery.
I kind of want to see it just for that.
She was good in Winchester. I liked Winchester. I know Bob hated it.
I watched that just recently for 100 Days, and of course, it doesn't help. Like, to be fair, the lead actor in that guy is where charisma goes to die. He is a charisma black hole.
I like him.
He's a charisma black hole.
He's going to be great in the new Pet Sematary. That's who they cast as the dad.
No, they didn't. Did they really?
Yeah, Jason Clarke.
He has he like disappears into the scenery, and then he says something. And you're like, "Oh, are you still there? Oh my god, I'm so impaired." No, I mean, it's really hard to do a scene with Helen Mirren and not like have that elevate you, and yet he somehow manages to do just that. I was kind of bored by it. And you're talking about the Winchester house.
So much, like, because, as you said before, you do stuff for Spooked in Seattle and a ghost, and I'm part of a ghost as well. It's like, we love ghosts, we love our ghost stories, and it just kind of dropped the ball.
And to be fair, part of the problem for me is that the house itself really isn't known to be an actual haunted house.
No.
So rather than trying to contrive a ghost story out of this that was not particularly well done, in my opinion, just tell the story of the house, like actually go into the Winchester story, because the story all by itself is pretty fucked. And the fact that she had this medium who put this idea in her head, like, you don't need to work for this to be an interesting story, and it became
kind of a run-of-the-mill ghost story.
And then you've got Helen Mirren. Utilize Helen Mirren, and I felt like she was kind of wasted in this too.
Same thing with the house itself. Like, they didn't
definitely agree on.
Yeah. No, I know it didn't force this film to set. Besides a couple shots outside, that camera view that went over top a couple times. Like, but then he showed like 4 rooms of the house, and there's so much more to show there. And I think we didn't talk about this last episode. So people were like, you already talked about that, Bob. But it was like it's pretty obvious, like that that the helicopter shot over the house, like that's the actual house, and it cuts, and like because it looks decrepit, it's looks unpainted, it looks that, and then it cuts to the house, like the set house, and it's like that house is in much better condition than the one I literally just saw, because it's the one on the set, and it's like, oh, and here's the front room, and here's her bedroom, and then the staircase that goes nowhere, and whereas I've only been in the house once, but the layout from the movie is different from the layout from the house.
Yeah.
It's like, because the one that goes back, the staircase that goes back and forth bit, she has because she could barely lift her legs.
Right.
That's in the very, very, very far back by the stables, not where she lived in the movie, but that's a whole other thing. But
it's something like that I'm fine with, because
I know it's movies, like
it's movies, and that's a kind of
It's like watching Scorchy in Seattle here, and her go-kart chase goes all over the place. Like 3 blocks. But going back to Nutcracker. Looks like a overproduced CGI mess, but I kind of like when movies are really messy in a way, because it's just fun watching like where things go. Like, I haven't watched Life Itself, the new movie that came out. It's not CGI mess, but apparently it's just a story mess. So I'm looking forward to drunkenly watching that. So it's kind of, it's fun to watch a train wreck. I like watching train wrecks.
Some train wrecks, some train wrecks make me mad. And then I get cranky.
That's why I go to the Dinesh D'Souza movies. That's why I go to the religious films. It's fun to watch something.
See, those make me mad.
Those aren't fun train wrecks for me. Those are, I'm gonna punch someone in the face.
Someone believes this is a good movie.
Yeah, and somebody is paying to make this movie, and I am bothered by that. So I stay away from them. I stay as far away from them as I can.
There were not 1, not 2, but 3 standing ovations during Death of a Nation.
I can't. I literally can't. It depresses the fuck out of me.
For me, it's just almost a commentary on our society that people believe that.
All I need to do is watch the background of a Trump rally, and I'm all far too aware people believe it, and I don't want them to have any iota of my money at all. Which is what it's the same reason there's certain actors now. If I go see one of their movies in theaters, same with directors. If I go see one of their movies in theaters, I do what Linny does, which is you donate the amount of the ticket to a woman's shelter or to a charity that represents whatever that fuckwit did.
And speaking of fuckwit directors,
we talked. I was
like, it goes to Bohemian Rhapsody with Bryan Singer.
Exactly.
Which also comes out the weekend. Sorry if I cut off your thought.
No,
that was a good way to jump over.
That's the. And there it is.
Notice how he's not. His name is not in the credits.
Yeah.
When you watch the trailer, it doesn't say anything from the maker of the X-Men, maker of
because they
his
know
name
better.
isn't there. Like, and his name wasn't like, and he had like, I'm just shooting from the hip here. I think he had to like sue the Directors Guild or Directors Guild had to sue in like, his favor to get his name added to it.
Yeah.
Because they tried to, whoever made it tried to take his name off because they handed over to somebody else at the very end.
Look at Gibson's last movie too. Like, you notice what was missing from a lot of the publicity was who directed it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was still there in small print when they did the little flash of like coming soon, blah 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 blah. But like, because they know that it leaves a bad taste in people. I won't go. I'm sorry. I won't go see something Mel Gibson directs. I just won't.
Fuck that.
I can't. And I can't do it.
I mean, hard pressed to see something he's in, but depend on kind of like, I guess, the project and how involved he is.
He directs it or he's in it. I won't see it. Mm-hmm. I'm starting to get that way with Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, I understand that for sure.
And that's why I'm kind of pissed at Fantastic Beasts, because I'm like, he was in a small chunk of the first movie. You could have recast that.
All over the new
and real easily.
He shouldn't have been. It should have just been Colin Farrell anyway.
It should have been. It should have been. But like, you could have recast that, and you made the decision not to. And now I'm real conflicted as to whether or not I can go see it.
I didn't even like the first one of that series. I know it's a whole different thing, but. Like, but it was the audience when I saw it opening night when they did like the Scooby-Doo reveal. It's like, it's not really Colin Farrell, but it's old man Johnny Depp. Yeah. And the audience goes,
the air came out of the room.
Yeah, I fucking hate Johnny Depp just in general. I've never liked him because he plays the same fucking character in like all of these movies.
Drunk, which is him.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I just don't.
Well, that's Nightmare on Elm Street.
I will say, and I'm going to give a little shout out to one of the short films we saw at Bonebat, but the Lunch Ladies short film.
It's awesome.
And that is the only time I'm okay with Johnny Depp now, is in the context of the Lunch Ladies. And that I'm okay with. Yeah, Matilda found something. She's killing. Yes, the house cat is currently killing something. But that's the only context in which I'm okay with Johnny Depp these days.
Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't even really like Queen all that much.
You're fired. Get out.
The
door's right there. Yeah. Point to the 9 floors down.
They've got like 3 songs that I enjoy.
Yeah, I'm curious about his story too. I genuinely do find him to be a really interesting person.
He's a fascinating guy. Yeah. I probably won't see it.
I think there's a generational component to it too. I mean, Bob and I are of a generation that, like,
Queen was more present in our lives.
Queen was more present in our lives.
Of course, everyone knows Queen. You know,
I suppose that makes sense. But I really do like older stuff, like the Beatles and everything, which is before you guys even. That was,
thank you for that qualifier. That's even than you assholes.
Older than you guys.
Wow.
It's like, John was dead before I was born. So
I was waiting for you to say I'm a fan of some of the older groups like NSYNC and stuff. Because then I
really was really old movie, Empire Strikes Back.
Only nerds watch that.
Where'd you get this game?
Alien. No, well, if nothing else, too, the actor that's playing
Rami Malek.
He looks like it.
Yeah. He's fantastic. Like, I loved him on Mr. Robot.
Is that actually Freddy?
Yeah, no, I'm such a huge fan of his that I want to see it for him. But just, man, Bryan Singer, really?
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm kind of out of the loop on Bryan Singer.
Well, he's been
he's
Victor salving kids for
decades. Bro. I mean, again, it's another worst kept secret. It's not new information. And I think for me, some of the conflict I'm having is that, like Weinstein, like Kevin Spacey, there's so much outrage. Oh my God, oh no, we have to do something. Well, no, this has been going on literally for decades. And people have been talking about it, and articles have been written about it, and investigations, and there's been lawsuits. And now, because of me, and I'm not sure if this is me going on a soapbox about something, but like, because of Me Too, because of Cosby, because of Weinstein being finally fucking taken down, everyone is paying a lot of attention to it. So now they're like, oh, well, now that we know, we want to distance ourselves because we had no idea. No bullshit.
It's like, I wonder how many Miramax movies I can still watch and not feel guilty.
Like,
I know like, Kevin Smith gave like all the money he made from like Miramax like before.
Yeah.
Away. Well, most of it, I guess. And everything, all his residuals he gets now from anything that Weinstein produced, he's donating.
Which I have mad respect for. But it's frustrating because it's not new information. It's just now it's new to a wider group of people, and there's a lot of attention being paid. So it's put a few studios in some unfortunate positions because they finally have to acknowledge that this has been going on. And so they're trying to distance themselves. And that leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, on the one hand, cool, bro, you finally got there. But on the other hand, you're only getting there because people are noticing.
Because people have.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you have to. It's like
now you have no choice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way type apology.
No, you have no choice.
It's you do this or you're done.
Yeah, because it's too big of a deal right now. And so, I don't have tons of respect for some of the production companies and some of the studios who are really only doing it because people are looking.
Yeah. It's like,
basically,
oh, fuck.
yeah.
We gotta be like,
Christopher Plummer.
Christopher Plummer.
We can't replace everyone with Christopher Plummer now.
Just the whole movie is going to be Christopher Plummer. Yeah. He's going to direct everything. He's going to produce everything.
Yeah, the new cut of Usual Suspects is starring Christopher Plummer, directed by Christopher Plummer.
I would watch that.
So I'm not sure what to do with my old copy of Usual Suspects. Like, do I get rid of it? I already bought it. Like, I don't have any Woody Allen stuff. I purged my collection of him.
Yeah. Well, he's always been a rough one for me.
And then there's a whole different conversation. We could do a whole topic on this too. But
say Polanski's another one.
I literally just rewatched Rosemary's Baby yesterday, and
his Macbeth too. His
Macbeth is one. It's probably my favorite version of Macbeth. It's so because it came out right after all that like Sharon Tate was killed. He's angry and you can tell it. He's processing his emotions. And it comes out in Macbeth and it fits.
Yeah.
And why do we keep saying that word?
Because we're not in the theater. Who the fuck cares? Because that's one of the bullshit curses that outside of a theater genuinely doesn't mean anything.
No, I've told you before about what happened in my
but we're not in a theater.
Yes, I know. Anyway,
if we were in a theater, this would be different. We'd be turning around and spitting right now, but we're not. So we're fine. Macbeth.
Yeah, but going back to Bohemian Rhapsody, it seems I'm not sure how if it's gonna be straightforward biopic and all right, and those can get kind of dull and is it gonna be less? I'm worried that it's gonna be too much moving along to this filling in the blanks until the next song that we know,
right?
Because they're really leaning in. You know these songs and the new Stand is appearing in theaters right now is a whole bunch of lyrics in a microphone and in front of it for the Wembley Stadium concert that they keep showing too. So, and there's also people saying that they're going to cut out a lot of his other relationships and the AIDS, and it's going to cut off right before that happens.
Oh, that's too bad. That's the part that I actually think would be
interesting.
There's also rumors saying that isn't how things should be, because this movie's been almost made for a while. Like Sacha Baron Cohen was playing Freddy forever.
Thank God that didn't happen.
I thought it actually been alright.
I would never be able to unsee Borat.
But that's the problem. He's a very talented actor, but unseeing his characters is a challenge.
But the issue was that why that version never got off the ground is because he wanted to tell apparently the more correct story of Freddy, and the other members of Queen wanted to do a more sanitized family version of things, and he was like, "No, we need to tell. We can't. We can't push anything aside."
Yeah.
And that's apparently, but so because Queen are in control of the movie,
right?
The remaining members of Queen. So it's interesting to see is it going to be lip service again, or is it actually going to get in there? Because it's the trailer is all about Freddy, and what he's doing. So, but I wonder if that's kind of just saying that.
Because what's more interesting, what I think is more interesting is the gritty, because the music industry and his life too, it wasn't a squeaky clean family image at all, and that's a story that really hasn't been told before.
So that's why I worry that the studio and Queen are gonna aim it that way, because knowing that families are going to go see. It's like, hey, you know this music.
What's
and it's like,
the rating? What's the rating?
I think it's PG-13. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they're not going to really tell too much.
I have it up on my other tab. But the kid from Jurassic Park is playing John Deacon, so that's cool. PG-13.
Okay.
And then speaking of, catching up to bad men and putting them in their place, the next week comes out A Girl in Spider's Web with its new awful subtitle, A New Dragon Tattoo Story, which is stupid and useless. But
the trailer played during Liz. I've seen the trailer a couple times now, but I mean, and I read the first book and was kind of meh about it, but I've enjoyed the movie adaptions just because they're fun. Fun is kind of the wrong word. Fun isn't the right word, but like they're
good.
They're good.
I haven't seen the Remy Ross ones. I've only seen the David Fincher.
They're entertaining. For some reason, and I rarely say this, I enjoyed watching them play out on screen more than I enjoyed reading them.
I've read the first 3 books. I haven't read Spider's Web, but
and I couldn't. The first book is all I ever made it through. But I'm intrigued. It looks interesting.
Foy looks great. And, she's doing a bunch it's a big year for her because The Crown's now played by Olivia Colman and for the Queen. But she was in Unsane earlier this year, a movie that we ended up skipping past, but First Man comes out same week as Halloween. But I'm kind of on it.
I don't care. I'm looking kind of forward to it. I mean, it's on my movies I'm looking forward to list. It's an interesting story, but I mean,
it's been told.
I mean, Apollo 18.
And we know how it ends. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. There's a reason we never went back to the moon, and that's because the moon rocks are aliens trying to kill us.
Damn fucking
I remember that movie.
No, and I've seen the trailer a couple times now, and I'm like, I feel like I should be excited about this. I can't. I'm just kind of bored by it.
I think Buzz Aldrin has the more interesting story anyway.
He's an interesting guy too. He had demons.
Oh yeah.
And Neil Armstrong just looks so happy-go-lucky. I'm like, it's too pretty. It's too
sanitized.
I still love the fact
too sanitized.
That video of Buzz Aldrin beating the shit out of that dude. And then when
had some demons.
Oh yeah. And he's got that Trump's giving that NASA species behind him like, what? You guys are fucking idiots.
I just liked him on 30 Rock too when he yelled at the moon.
That's what
I was thinking.
My wife, I quote that all the time. Would you like to yell at the moon with Buzz Aldrin? Stay time. Go home. I walked on your face. I'm changing the way he said it, but I don't care.
You got a little walking in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow, this how many times we say it at home, it just changes the way things are. Also, that weekend is something I'm really, really, really looking forward to. I also played at Fantastic Fest this weekend. It was getting great responses. Is Overlord.
I'm interested because a good Nazi zombie movie can be really well done. I love Dead Snow. I loved Dead Snow 2, I think, a bit better because I enjoyed the Russian zombies too. I thought that was a funny little twist on it. This looks pretty good. It kind of reminds me of Wolfenstein a lot. Except without the Nazis winning.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's that.
So you get a little Keep vibes a little bit, in a way.
Oh, which one?
The Keep.
Michael
Mann. Yeah, of course, that's slightly different, but I couldn't help thinking of that. Can we interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, I saw a trailer today. The zombies sparked it for a zombie musical.
Anna and the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Comes out in December.
That looks. I don't know how that escaped my notice until I think I've heard it talked about, but I hadn't seen a trailer yet.
It played the festivals last year and has a 90 Metascore, which is great.
Charming. It looks delightful. It looks like everything I wanted a Christmas movie and didn't know was missing from my life. So I'm kind of stoked about that. It's all the words Kim likes. Zombies, check. Musicals, check. Christmas, check.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely does sound good. Yeah, I've never even heard of it until you guys mentioned it, so that sounds fucking great.
When the trailer started, I was just like, what is this magical thing?
It's I've been waiting for that for, it was on my to-watch film from last year, and then all of a sudden I hear it's coming out this year. I'm like, yes, please.
No,
I think it's December 2nd, if I remember right.
Don't not mention the Grinch.
Oh, that's my next thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you scrolling.
No, I was going to see when Anna came out. And then same weekend as Overlord and A Girl in Spider's Web, the new Dragon Tattoo Story comes. the new animation version of The Grinch.
A
kinda
new
seems-
dragon tattoo story.
Which seems incredibly useless. And
I am so excited for this because Illumination is doing it. They did that great Peanuts movie.
Which is
personally
true.
liked. I don't like Despicable Me, but I really liked the Minion movie for some weird reason. Partially because I know it drives my fiance insane. She
I
Banana.
fucking
hate
hates
the Minions.
Banana. I just had children saying banana to me
Banana.
like all summer long, and I didn't understand why because I still haven't seen any of the movies. And someone finally explained it to me. But all summer long, banana. I'm like, stop it, stop. Do you want a banana? I'll get you a banana. Just stop.
I love the original '60s one. I love the other one came out when I was 7, and I loved that. I loved.
Well, we were around for the original '60s one, so you know.
It's true, you were.
Yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, it was good. Good.
Bob, you're kicking what, 60 now?
But here's something weird like that. I was like, Scott Mosier from Kevin Smith movies is the director of this new
That's
one.
fucking weird.
All right, so that makes me kind of interested to see it.
I'm interested because I think it's going to be something new. The Jim Carrey one is my personal favorite because I owned the game and I had the weird orange or purple ketchup, and I loved The Grinch, and I thought that movie was great. I still have some of the stuff.
I'm making a face now that people can't see.
I don't like it either.
I will defend that movie to the death. That is one of my favorite holiday movies. But it probably because I grew up with it, and I still love the first one. But I think this could be something good. It's going to be one or the other. It's either going to be really good like the Peanuts movie, or it's going to be really bad.
I'm going to put my prediction in for which of those two I think it's going to be.
Yeah. See, I'm leaning at the not so because I'll agree. Peanuts was wonderful because it kept the spirit I think of Charles Schultz without and it didn't update it to the modern age. It didn't.
It told that story.
And that's what it seems like a lot of the jokes in the Grinch trailers have been like, hey, here's something you know, and here's stuff that's happening now. So I don't think it's going to age well.
Yeah.
But I'll still see it, but it'll probably be my third of those 3 movies that weekend.
And, I mean, if the Grinch says, make Whoville great again, though.
Okay.
I want something that's going to date it, though, if they're going to go that route, like hardcore, like fucking mention the Harlem Shake or something.
Oh, jeez.
That was dated too.
I
was going to say, that's already dated, yeah.
Actually, but if we're talking about defending Dr. Seuss movies, I really like the Horton Weird Here's a Who from 2008.
Oh, that was fine. I saw that.
It was fun.
It was
fine.
I wasn't offended by it.
Katie thing, whatever that was.
The only bad Dr. Seuss movie in my book is that fucking Cat in the Hat.
I couldn't even watch that
Oh
one.
god, that was.
One day I'll get drunk and watch it.
I don't think there's enough alcohol in the world to make that movie
bad
okay
enough
by me.
that his widow's like, you're not making another live action movie ever again.
Yeah, you've done a bad job when the widow's like, no, I don't want
But
any
here's a
more
dump truck
money.
full of money.
No. No.
They were good.
You shit on his work enough.
Because she really liked that Grinch movie that Ron Howard did. She's like, I think that was interesting, and she liked the spirit of it. No, the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, see, even the cat doesn't like it.
Yeah, you guys like whatever.
Yeah, fuck that.
She's cranky because it's past her food time.
Yeah, because her brother ate all her food.
It's their 10 o'clock is normally when I feed them their last meal.
Sorry,
They're
we're taking
a
up the
little
time.
they're a little cranky. That's why she's been out.
Then a movie we talked about briefly earlier on November 16th, and we're moving on now to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, which I think
Change it to The Crimes of Johnny Depp. Can we do that? Is that allowed?
I'm gonna get forced to see it. My fiance loves Harry Potter. I didn't like the first one because I think the dude who does it's a weird little dude who I'm pretty sure watches me when I shower. He's
Dobby?
oh no, Dobby I let watch me shower. Master has given Dobby a thong.
See, I thought the first one was just a mess that didn't really live up to its premise.
God.
With that CG, the Harry Potter series has never been good with the CG creatures anyway.
I
felt like step backwards.
I liked the fat guy. Hashtag fat pride. It was nice that he was played as kind of a nice, heartwarming character.
Yeah,
He's very likable.
He was very likable. I liked. I just hated that lead because he's like, I'm so British and proper.
Oh, Eddie Redmayne. Yeah, I think he's fine normally.
I
didn't like him there.
Him in
Well,
stuff.
the illusion is too that he's, I believe, supposed to be on the spectrum.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, and which I enjoy that there's some representation. I finally watched it. It was on HBO, and I finally caught up with it because I kept getting told how great it was. And I watched it, and I was like, it was fine.
That's that they couldn't like really decide what story they're trying to tell.
Yeah, it was to me. It was very obvious that it didn't. Well, it was very obvious to me that the original source material was not a story.
Yeah, because it's just literally it has to be.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of a lot of video game movies where it can't really figure out what it wants to do, and you had some really great actors in it.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did they do that at the end?
Yeah, no, because he was great. And I want to keep calling him the Flash. But
Barry Allen.
But yeah,
still the Flash.
I know
he's still the Flash. But he was in. We need to talk about Kevin. And he's fantastic.
Yeah, Ezra Miller.
Yeah, he is a fantastic
I really
actor.
like Ezra Miller.
And I thought, like, every scene he was in, every scene he was in, I was watching, and I found his story to be more compelling than
but then he also had because they're still using him as the dark creature or whatever.
I thought he got destroyed, so that's kind of interesting.
And then apparently each one, like, there's gonna be 5 is the plan.
Oh,
my
but
goodness.
yeah, we'll find like with different decades and different areas, because this one's in Paris, I think. But what drives me nuts about there's apparently a new trailer came out today, but I haven't watched it. But drove me nuts in that first show where it's like, well, he's off doing whatever it is that he's doing out there. It's like, yes, like, isn't that right, Dumbledore?
Yeah.
And then Jude Law turns out like, oh, please don't like directly wink at us like that. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And apparently, like, the new trailer says that Nagini is a human woman in this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Or something like that.
Nagini is snake. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
like she was
Harry Potter,
reborn into the snake or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's funny though that
it's more of like, here's something that you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
J.K. Rowling keeps trying to shove representation into her things she already wrote. And it's like, well, you wrote the book one way. You can't just be like, oh, well.
No, Nagini's really a Chinese woman.
Yeah.
Hermione's totally black. You didn't write her that way. It's like,
it's kind of vaguely in there.
Write your future stuff with representation. Don't try to cram it into, like, okay.
But I feel like, though, her argument with Hermione specifically was the casting of a black actress to play her in the stage show. And the argument being that it's never directly, there's no reason why it can't be played by a black actress. So I don't know that that's the best example.
She never explicitly stated to be white.
No, she's not. And so when people are being like, she's white, it's like, well, actually, no, we don't actually say that.
And Hermione herself can probably find you a bunch of sources that shows that.
Yeah, exactly.
She's still with Harry Potter.
I think because J.K. Rowling has spoken about this too, that like she was told by her publisher that she couldn't have a female heroine because boys wouldn't read it, and so whereas you get the impression, if not for that, the true hero probably would have been.
She is the true hero. We all.
I know. I mean, she's my favorite character in it, obviously, but like, I see what you're saying in that respect. That like. She went a direction with it because it would be more commercially successful to do, but in doing so now, looking back and being like, no, just kidding, I really want to do this, let's see what else we can do, representation, woohoo, it falls a little flat.
Yeah.
What I feel that way with the Fantastic Beasts movies is just that this was written as a, like, accessory book. It was never meant to be its standalone story. And it just feels like we're trying real hard to try to make the story work. And, I mean, even Star Wars managed, for the most part, to avoid the direct, like, wouldn't you say that? You know, Princess Leia, General Lord God. Like, and that, to me, was a bigger deal because you had the actual actors play, you know.
Jude Law playing Dumbledore.
Yeah, it's like,
aging down Michael Gambon.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would hope he'd show up. He's a major figure in the wizarding world. Of course, he should be in this movie, and he's alive at this point.
There's a new poster where I'm pretty sure one of the women on there is McGonagall, but I don't know. I haven't looked into it. But I looked at the poster and like, that person's dressed like McGonagall, and she's right at the right age at that point.
It's very believable that, like, it would be weird if it's like in the Han Solo movie. You're expecting at some point young Han Solo's going to show up. Like,
yeah.
There it is. You know, yep, Chewie's gonna be there because he's a character in these. I mean, there's a little bit of that where you're
he's
like,
a cannibal now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
no, he eats people.
That movie
Yeah.
just got better then. That was the plot
You haven't seen.
I will.
It's part of. I'm totally spoiling. It's like there's a point that they hint heavily that Chewbacca eats people.
Wait, what?
Oh, really?
You guys haven't seen Solo?
No,
I'm sorry.
because I'm fine.
I know
I'm
Darth
fine
Maul
with the
appears
fact
at the
that
end.
I haven't seen Solo.
So now I can reverse it because when Cody and I saw Female Trouble right after the week after Last Jedi came out at the Ark Lodge, someone spoiled a major plot point as we were leaving the theater.
We were talking about it, and then I am walking, and I'm trying to make sure Bob can hear me. And I finally just say, I don't like how they killed Snoke. And the movie been out like a day. And like a whole crowd of people are like, oh! I'm like, sorry.
You were that guy.
Apparently I was that
Don't be that guy.
guy. I wasn't that guy intentionally. I would never intentionally spoil something for somebody.
Anymore, it's so like
It's hard to keep spoilers away.
I try to not
I
get
see everything
offended.
now.
I'm not generally bothered if something's spoiled for me because
I spoil stuff for myself. I knew the plot of the Star Wars movie before I saw it.
I think it depends on
And I saw it
situation.
Yeah,
of
yeah,
what it is, yeah.
I mean, if somebody's like desperately looking forward to something, don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me, of course. And I never spoil anything. I'm like,
Like certain twists, certain deaths, certain plot points. I don't.
every
want to
so
know.
often
I
I
want to see how
will.
it unfolds.
Just kind of like when I was talking about Hell House earlier. You guys are both going to see it. You both like the first one, so I was pretty vague about what happens.
And I try to do the same thing in my reviews. I try not to give
Yeah,
out
trying
any
to
direct plot
deliberately.
points.
And if I am going to spoil something, like if I'm like how we're talking now, that's been out that has maybe the last year or so, as opposed to the last decade. In which case, to me, that's fair game. I try to give some time between. If you don't want to listen to this, take a little moment. There's a time when I don't mind being spoiled by stuff, especially certain TV shows. If I get real attached to characters, where characters are treated really disposably, is that a word?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll count it.
We'll count it. We'll allow it. Then sometimes I will deliberately spoil myself so that I can then emotionally prepare if a character's gonna die. And I can read how's this gonna happen? Am I gonna want to skip anything? Do I just not want to have to deal with this? Because I have enough crap in my regular life. I don't need so much grief from my television anymore. I feel like there's a lot of shows that who can we kill to make this the most.
The Walking Dead.
I'm looking at you, Walking Dead. I'm looking at you and I'm wagging my finger. I can't take it anymore.
I quit.
Man, they fucking killed.
Season ago.
Do you care if I spoil it for you?
No, I quit.
They fucking killed Carl.
Yeah, that did it for me. And I didn't think that would be the straw that broke the camel's back, but apparently it was.
Well, now Rick's leaving too.
Yeah, which I honestly, I had it. It was the most recent season was on my DVR for a real long time. I got through like half of it. I didn't even get through to where Carl died, and I was just like, my heart's not in it anymore.
I think
not in
that,
for them either.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Rick dying might be good for the show because then they can finally go somewhere that's not the comics.
Yeah.
They kind of have. I really think they just need to have Jeffrey Dean Morgan carry it. They're like, oh, Norman Reedus. I'm like, have.
No,
Carol.
I
Everyone's
freaking
Carol.
love
It's good.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He was what kept me watching.
I got to meet him in Portland. Coolest fucking guy. He was $100 for a picture, and I paid that for my mom because she wanted to see him, and I paid $200 to meet him, and then I paid another $100 to meet Norman Reedus. That is commitment because I would not pay $100 pretty much to meet anybody on. Although, God, what was it? That one con that was coming here, and it was like fucking
The
Thor was
Ace
gonna be there.
Comic-Con,
It was
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah,
It's like $300
it was a
everything.
bunch
It's like-
of Marvel
yeah,
people,
those ones-
but it was so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Those cons are made just for money, not
oh
for fans.
yeah, they don't give a shit about
Yeah.
us.
No, I can't. Yeah,
So moving on to other things.
Yeah,
because we gotta.
We're already an hour and a half in.
I've
and still got another
got an
month.
early morning tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I know a whole bunch is probably going to cut out. But I'm going to edit this one. Just kidding. I love you guys, but I got to edit. And then, so also that week is Widows, the new Steve McQueen movie written by Gillian Flynn.
Yeah.
Writer of Gone Girl, Sharp Objects is a great show. It's currently airing, or finished airing, but we haven't finished watching it. And then, so still airing for us. And with it's kind of Ocean's 8, but through her lens. It's more of that. Yeah, a bunch of women go on a bank robbing spree because their husbands were bank robbers and they get killed. So now they have to pick it up the mantle in order to survive. The trailer's really cool. Like, it looks a lot of fun. Steve McQueen made Shame and 12 Years a Slave. So
is this the same Steve McQueen who was in fucking Bullet?
No.
I was
He's
waiting
back
for-
from the dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a
making
second. I'm like,
movies.
he's been dead.
Different Steve McQueen.
Different. I love 12 Years a Slave. I enjoy, just a complete side note, I enjoy stories that I can live through somebody else's experiences because I'm never going to be black. I'm never going to be, like, super oppressed. It's interesting to get that because it gives you that perspective on life, I suppose.
And then also that week, it's Stuck, a musical. I don't know this one, do you?
I don't fucking know.
Musical lady?
Stuck.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
look
going
it up.
wide, I don't know. And then Instant Family, which I just wanted to just throw out because it looks smudgy as hell. It's Mark Wahlberg. And
Won't see it. I hate Mark Wahlberg.
yeah, me too. And Rose Byrne adopting a bunch of kids look smudgy and forced as hell. Everyone's aunt's going to go see it and love it. And Mark Wahlberg still does the
Hey, some
acting.
of us don't have ants.
Yeah, well, it happens. With Mark Wahlberg still saying every line as he was asking a question and annoyed about it.
I'm going to tell you sometime about my friend who was in the Funky Bunch.
And then the week so around Thanksgiving is a whole bunch of movies, as it always is.
Yeah.
Including what I'm really looking forward to, The Favorite. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name, but the guy made The Lobster and Killing a Sacred Deer. I don't want. It's kind of hard. It's about a queen and her consorts and a bunch of people, and it's
I saw that.
hysterical.
That looks really interesting. Yeah.
It's kind of I don't want to go into explaining what. Just watch the trailer. It's as soon as that trailer ended, my wife told me, he's like, we're watching that. I'm like, damn right we are, because it looks wonderful. Then Creed 2. Thumbs up, which I love
go
the
see it.
last one,
Yeah.
and this one seems like a little bit too much of the force. Like, hey, Ivan Drago, here he is again.
If he dies, he dies. That's the
Must
only thing
break
I'm going to
you.
wait for. I really like
Is Rocky dead yet? I keep
Rocky
waiting for
is
that.
still alive. Apparently, he's going to fight Dolph Lundgren. I've heard that's going to
So that's gonna kill him, like killed Apollo Creed last
Yeah,
time around.
call me if Rocky dies.
I liked Creed. I
love Creed.
I like the Rocky series just in general.
They're hit and miss for me. I'm not like sports.
I love them. They're fun.
Then Green Book comes out. See, it's on
Yeah,
your list
it's
there.
on my list.
And I had no interest, so I saw the trailer. I'm like, yes.
I saw the trailer in front of Fahrenheit 11.9. It sold me instantly. I love a good road trip film. Throw in the fact that it's in the 1950s in Jim Crow South, and it is a pianist kind of buddy film where he's I know.
It's Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo
Viggo Mortensen
Mortensen.
and Mahershala Ali.
I like Vigo.
And, yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be
I like
great.
Viggo.
I didn't even know it was Viggo Mortensen until I looked it up this round. I'm like, holy shit, that's Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah, he's
I didn't
awesome.
even say his name
his
right.
penis.
Me too.
Yeah.
He's
But
from
not in the
Promises.
movie.
No, just in
Cody
life.
hasn't seen
Just
Eastern
in life.
Promises. He just-
I just like to see celebrity penises.
So you're looking forward to the Chris Pine movie coming in a few months. The one he's a knight or something. They come direct to Netflix around the same time. And then that movie looks astounding. And I've come award season, expect that to get bunches.
That feels like a movie that was made for award season.
Yeah, but not
it
not
doesn't feel like
way.
not. Oh, look, everything is just happening like
Not
that.
Oscar baity.
Yeah, that's not Oscar baity.
And then
Sometimes when you say Oscar Beatty, it sounds like Master Beatty.
it's kind of the same
Because
idea.
it's basically the same thing.
Exactly. And then is Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet.
I want to see that because I loved the first Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, me too. It's
I
so beautiful.
I will be the dissenting
loved
opinion.
See, I love the first Wreck-It Ralph. I don't like the show, but go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's totally fine. I'm used to it by now. I just didn't like the first one. And I grew up in the video game generation. Like, that movie, in theory, should have been me. Like,
Yeah, but we remember arcades.
true enough.
Yeah, Donkey Kong came out like
Donkey Kong!
around the time of our births. Yeah,
And we had original Nintendos.
yeah, I did.
My family had an Atari.
My first one was a PlayStation 1
Yeah.
with a copy of WCW Monday Nitro.
But I adore the first one. I think it's beautiful and it's so much fun. But this new trailer has done nothing for me so far.
It just, like I said, the first one I just thought.
But I'm going to see the movie.
Playing straight nostalgia. And
I was fine with it.
It was the same problem I had with Ready Player One.
No, I had no desire to see that, so
it was
better than the book.
That character's such a fucking Mary Sue, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Again, it's funny because don't knock over the phone, Till.
My phone.
Yeah, she's like, what? She's pissy because she's hungry. It's been increasingly bothering me more and more. And I'm glad we're getting some representation in there, but like I don't know if I've ever truly appreciated, and I'm saying this to two men, so I apologize, but how many white male stories there are in the movies where I'm like, damn it! Like,
I never noticed it until somebody pointed it out to me. Like, holy shit!
Yeah.
There's like no representation.
And anything ever. So that's why I couldn't get into Hidden Figures. Like there wasn't like white male for me. No, I'm kidding. There was Kevin Costner.
There's Kevin Costner. You had the Costner. Come on.
And then the children I Hate You Give was identified with the cops. No, I'm kidding.
God, you may want to cut that one.
Yeah. I'm joking.
But no, it's funny because it's why the Neil Armstrong movie I can't get excited about. There's all these movies that I'm just like, Ready Player One. I was like, I don't care about watching another boy's journey that's helped by a pretty girl who has a nice avatar who's gonna you're the only one who can do this, we believe in you, blah,
and he's
blah,
like
blah, blah,
he's not a stalkery in the movie, but in the book he's super like nice guy. I bought you gifts and I'm gonna show up at your house.
Creepy.
Look at the movie changes a lot of that. The movie fixes a lot of the issues of the book, but not all of them. Some of them are just built into the story.
It's just too much of a fucking Mary Sue story for me. I got so bored watching that.
And then the last thing to come out that same weekend is something that looks god awful.
Oh, yeah.
But Robin Hood?
Yeah.
Another one?
Yeah, with Taron Egerton and Jamie Foxx.
It's gonna suck.
Why?
You remember that King Arthur movie from last year? It's like
I try to forget it.
Yeah, it's like the people who made that are making, well, it's different people, but like the people who are making this, watch that, got all the wrong ideas from it, and are making this.
I remember reading something about that King Arthur movie that like they wanted to make it like a fucking
it's like 7 movies.
7 movies. Like, okay, first of all, no. Secondly, no.
No.
Third of all,
no.
What the fuck were you thinking? Fourth of all, just no.
No.
Fifth, absolutely not.
Remember when Robin Hood was a fox?
Yeah.
That was a good time, wasn't it? Can we go back to that? Let's go back to when Robin Hood was a fox. He was cute.
I don't know, that might bring the furries out.
You know what? I'll take it.
I remember when he was Carrie Elwes, the only one who can use the right accent. I still haven't seen Princess Thieves. I need to see one of these days.
You're fine.
But I've seen Men in Tights millions of times.
Is that rewatching it? Has not held up.
Yeah, well, I heard it didn't hold up a year later.
It didn't.
Besides Alan Rickman.
But even like with Alan Rickman, who's a fantastic actor, but man, his character and choices he made with his character, where you're like, wow, you went to the rapey place, didn't you?
It's character.
Yeah, but I
haven't seen it, so I can't.
I
own it, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, although Men in Tights, there's some stuff that'll be funnier.
Yeah.
Once
So I figure, since I've seen Men in Tights, I don't need to see the other one, but maybe one day I will.
There's a few jokes that'll land a little better, I think, but yeah.
And then a week after that comes Ant and Apocalypse, we already talked about.
Yeah.
And, the other, and then If Bill Street Can Talk, which is coming, it's getting rave reviews so far, but also about representation.
What is it about?
It's based on James Baldwin work. I don't want to. I only saw the show once. I'm not going to say the plot incorrectly, but it's definitely about like black culture and all the crap that they have to get. And
that sounds pretty interesting.
So it'll go well with The Hate You Give, which funny that for a long time I couldn't figure out why the U was then realized that The Hate You Give spells thug.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw the poster for the movie. I'm like, okay, there we are. December 7th. There's a couple things coming out. The Silence, which is another horror film based around
The Silence?
About keeping quiet. If I remember right when I looked it up. I haven't seen the trailer. But it seems to be might be cool.
Yeah, no, it looked intriguing. Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for that? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looked like it could be fun. I mean, I think that about pretty much every horror trailer I see for the most
like,
part.
I'll see every.
I'll see every. Yeah,
I see every horror
matter.
film
Good,
that comes
bad,
out
I'll see
eventually.
it.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. I mean, I missed some of them, but I mean, I'll go see it.
When's Colette coming out? That looks good.
That come out this weekend.
Oh, see.
It's playing at Arc Lodge next weekend, but it comes out.
Right.
It feels like it's pretty similar to A Quiet Place, though.
But the silence is more about the darkness.
Totally.
But it's looking at the plot here. Yeah, it definitely has to do with things that grew up in pitch darkness in an underground cave. So it's Descent with the family. And then also that weekend is Mary Queen of Scots with Saoirse Ronan and Margot Kidder. Not Margot Kidder. Margot Robbie.
Okay, but now I really want to watch that movie with Margot Kidder.
The trailers just really won me over every time I watched it, and I can't wait for that movie either. Schindler's List is coming back out. Then Under the Silver Lake has been delayed like 4 times.
Yeah.
Apparently it's pretty awful, which is why they keep delaying
That's
it.
why they keep doing it. Yeah.
If they continue to delay something, it's going to suck.
It's A24, which makes you kind of like, really? Like, yeah, A24 is putting it out, so it makes me like, okay, I'm in. But really? But it looks like a nice noirish movie with Andrew Garfield, I think, right? We're reaching the end, I hear Kim yawning.
Sorry.
December 14th, Mortal Engines, Peter Jackson produced, might be directing
I'm looking
that.
kind of forward to that. It looks interesting, but also it kind of looks fucking stupid. So
Yeah, it's going to bomb hard. Like, general audiences are not going to go see this.
I mean, you look at the trailer, it's like, fuck, I don't even want to go see it, and I go see shit like that, but I kind of do. It's like one of those movies where I don't want to see you, but I kind of do.
It looks like another CGI-heavy post-apocalyptic mess, and
The city's on wheels. Oh.
That's never been done before.
it's like, are they going to run into
It's
each
like
other?
Mad Max, or it's like
But it's Mad Max where the cities are the streets.
Waterworld. It's what is Matilda?
She's getting in the work.
Doing? Where?
I heard her go behind the plastic.
Okay, that's good. That's a good place for her.
And then cycling back around to the first movie we talked about, this Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah, I'm
Finally, Miles
intrigued
Morales.
with that. Yeah,
Your
I'm
representation.
in. I'm in.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, the trailer looks fun.
It's animated with a whole lot of different Spider-Man. Spider-Verse is true as Nick Cage is gonna be a Spider-Man. There's gonna be, but it's a whole lot like it's following through Miles Morales, so a little bit into Ultimates.
Yeah, I really like Miles Morales. So it's good to see him kind of. That's probably going to be their compromise because they're never actually going to fucking kill Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm. But they did put his uncle in the Homecoming, so
yeah,
Prowler.
One he is in the cartoon right now.
Yeah,
I would really like to see him
Disney
in the
cartoon.
main universe.
I think eventually they'll get to that.
I think
There'll be a way to get him in.
eventually-
I think
there's-
they're-
I really want to see that because I thought he was so.
I think I could do it without killing Peter.
Yeah.
But the animation stuff looks like really cool. It's done almost looking like a comic strip, comic book. Sorry, not in the same way that awful Hulk movie was in 2003, but in a better way. But it's weird. Like
You
the colors are awful.
that one?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah.
I love that movie.
You're fired again. Go on. I've fired you so many times. But there's all like the way the colors are used, and it looks very visually interesting. It's
I
going
need
to be
to look that
really
up
fun.
because I do love the Spider-Verse like comics. I wonder if Spider-Man with the mind of Dr. Ock's going to be in there.
Who knows? There's Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen's gonna be there, and
I really want Spider-Man and Deadpool to, because I like their
comics are great.
I love their comic, and I kind of ship them. Not the current, because the current Spider-Man's like 12, but in the comic.
Yeah, I'm really behind.
But I enjoy their interactions.
And we have one final week, but it's a big one. It's Christmas weekend. And there's 6 major releases coming out.
Oh, God.
Starting with probably going to be the biggest one of that, Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah. Which,
I've actually never seen the original Mary Poppins.
Wow.
Get out. You're fired
it's
again.
Like it's the best Disney movie, if you ask me. Straight up. Across the way. If you made one Disney movie ever,
is better.
that's just a Mary Poppins.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks is better.
It's only made to cash in on that. Though I do like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. But it's definitely made because Mary Poppins made money.
I know what it's about. It's about Mary Poppins.
You seen Sherry Bobbins, right?
Sherry Bobbins.
Bye, Sherry Bobbins.
Bye, Jerry Mullins.
Bye, Superman.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'll totally see it.
Oh, absolutely. I'm in.
I don't think I'm quite as excited about it as some people I know who are just like, oh my god. I'm like, no, it looks
People were
cool.
posting they were crying over the trailer when I watched it write it up for when I wrote it up for City of Geek. Hey, go check out that trailer write up. I was like, okay, that was fine.
No, yeah,
I think it gave way too much. I think
it's cute.
I did my Captain Marvel trailer analysis, and it got like 10 views. So you motherfuckers get on there.
Mandy got like 15.
Woo!
I think the biggest thing so far has been like your Halloween post because that was like the first thing we saw.
It was like the first thing, so everybody was like pity clicking.
Yeah. Hey, we already
add up.
have more likes than like some of the like stuff I follow. Like, don't read the Latin.
It's because I keep pimping it out to a bunch of my friends, and they're nice.
See, that's why we got you and Tony on. Well,
I know, because we know people.
It's like, no, I asked Tony to be part of it because he's awesome.
No, Tony's great.
We love you, Tony.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll get there. Maybe this listen we'll get 10 people by the time that we get the sound right. We'll hope we have.
And to be fair too, I didn't do my proper pimping with the first episode, so I'll pimp this.
Then the next big release for that weekend is Alita Battle Angel, which I know has a trailer, but I haven't seen it yet.
No clue what the fuck that even is.
It's James Cameron's producing it. Robert Rodriguez is directing it. It's based upon I think an anime, so like the character literally has the anime eyes, which they toned down between trailers, so that changing from trailer.
I have seen that. Yeah,
I'm already out.
No, I know what you're talking about. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, it was delayed like a whole year, then delayed again, like because it taken a while because apparently the effects are like just so much.
I'm so out of this.
It's kind of like Avatar 2. If that eventually comes out, I'll believe when I'm sitting in there. But I don't know the source.
You mean Pocahontas?
Yeah,
that's what you mean, right? Pocahontas, Blue Pocahontas with
or there's a wind book. It's really much like it. But yeah, this looks kind of from what I can tell, it seems kind of messy. But I haven't seen the trailer. But it seems like it's coming out. It seems like it's coming out at this point just so it can bomb. And I'm sorry, I guess no one wanted to see it by putting it behind Mary Poppins and Aquaman and Bumblebee and it's just so many things coming out. Like it's kind of like Disney moved Star Wars, has no Star Wars movie during Christmas, so everyone else jumped in.
Quick, shove it all.
And now we have 6 movies instead of one giant movie. So it's going to be like a lot of I think Mary Poppins is going to win that easily.
Yeah. I don't even. I think Aquaman. My official prediction. I think Aquaman's going to bomb.
Can I just point out, Jason Momoa, shirtless.
The whole movie.
Look,
I'm a straight man, and
you can get behind that because Jason Momoa, shirtless.
I'm excited for Black Manta.
He looks cool.
He looks bitchin'.
But he does wear it.
I'm down for the movie. I just think it's gonna fucking bomb.
I think there's enough people out there who want to go watch a whole movie of Jason Momoa.
I think it's gonna have
that it might do well.
Legs. Sea legs.
Sea legs.
But
internationally it might do well too.
Yeah, it might not do like opening weekend, but I think it will because I think a lot of these movies might like.
I'm
not saying it's gonna be good. I'm just saying.
I like James Wan.
Jason Momoa.
I really love James Wan.
And I trust James Wan.
Yeah,
I'm
trust
him with Jason Momoa.
3, just completely throwing that out there. Yeah.
And how sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about Jason Momoa being shirtless.
I'm thinking about James Wan shirtless now. Shirtless.
Then, so what do you guys feel about Bumblebee? Kind of rebooting.
Dude, I hate the Transformers movies. They've sucked since the first one. How do they keep making money?
Internationally.
The last one didn't. The last one did not even break even.
Good. They fucking suck.
Yeah.
Transformers in general suck. I don't like anything about Transformers. Fuck that movie.
I also only saw the first one. And
the first one's the only one that's good and every that.
I saw the first one and I bailed.
But yeah.
I like the first one.
My stepdad loves those. And I'm like, dude, you have terrible fucking taste in movies.
But here's the thing that actually makes me into Bumblebee possibly is Travis Knight is directing it. He made Kubo and the Two Strings and Paranorman. So he's made stuff with Leica. So all right, that's that's enough to maybe interested. And then they're like going back to earlier with Girl in the Spider's Web, where Fede Alvarez is directing it, and he directed Don't Breathe and the Evil Dead remakes. I'm like, okay.
No,
he's done 2 movies that I think are really good.
I'm sorry, what was that last movie you mentioned?
Huh? Evil Dead.
No, the one that...
Don't Breathe?
Don't Breathe.
Keep going back. The
Kubo?
one,
Paranorman?
Spider?
Oh, Spiderweb. The Girl in the Spider's Web.
It's not the full title.
Oh, yes. A new dragon tattoo story.
Heyo.
But so like
You could probably edit that out. I was just being a
that
dick.
might be enough to get me like interested in. And like I Seinfeld a lot, you know.
I hate the Transformers,
Yeah.
and I won't go see it.
I
I'll go
just
see
don't
it.
care.
I just don't give any shit
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I can't, like, there's the levels of fucks I give about things, and with Transformers, and maybe it's because I never played with them when I was a kid. My brother did. I wasn't allowed to, so I might resent them a little bit. Dan, I resent your Transformer dolls because of it. The end.
And, then we move on to Holmes and Watson, the Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
See that? No. Just no.
Yeah.
I'm just... Step Brothers was 10 years ago. Let it die.
Better than trying to do a sequel though.
Oh, God.
But that's basically what they're doing.
That's basically what they're doing.
It can work, I think. Yeah, depends on who's directing and what the script's like. And I honestly believe it's like. So I didn't like the other guys, but I did like. I generally like Will Ferrell and
I love Will Ferrell. Elf is my second favorite Christmas
Tell me how much
movie.
you watched that last year.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness, I'm
Yeah, I can watch Elf every day.
Yeah.
Like, and then last year it played as part of the subscription package for the stage version.
Oh, yeah.
Played here in Seattle, came through as part of the Broadway show, and like all we want to do is watch the movie again. So we went home and we watched it like the next day. Like, we just watched this, but fuck it, let's watch it again. Let's watch the good version of Elf.
The good version of Elf. Yeah, I saw it when it was still on Broadway. I saw Elf, the musical, and
It's okay. It's the movie light.
It's the movie light. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I had the dude from Cheers, Norm from Cheers, I think, was Santa.
George Wendt.
I kind of dug that. That was fun.
Yeah,
From
I
House.
really like
Yeah. I love George Wendt in House. That's
Oh
a whole
my
other thing.
God, he's the best. Like, I could go into a whole thing about how much I love House.
House is beautiful.
Yes.
And then the final big thing coming out that weekend is Welcome to Marwen.
I'm excited for that because it looks outside the box. It looks like they are definitely trying something with that movie. I love Steve Carell. Weird thing is I don't watch The Office. I just love Steve Carell.
Fair enough.
I think he can carry that. I think he can play serious, and I think that's going to be an interesting movie.
Yes.
Whether or not it's going to land,
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting downsizing vibes off of it.
oh,
Where
yeah.
interesting idea might
you
do
put that
well,
evil
and then it
hard
will.
to sustain and,
Yeah, it's
and
like-
ultimately...
It seems kind of cloying in many ways,
Yeah.
but I'm definitely into it. But it seems also kind of like trying really hard.
Yeah.
And it's based on a real story, and that's enough in there. Like downsizing, of course, isn't. But apparently
What are you talking
they're
about,
changing
Bob?
a lot of.
Of course it is.
They're changing a lot of like the basis of it, and
My shocked face.
yeah, and then presenting it as like this is true, which is something that annoys the hell out of me. Like
Yep.
When you change certain things in certain ways, like Beautiful Mind, it's an alright movie, but that's not what happened for John Nash at all. You know, it's like we took his name, the very basic thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
Someone's a little more into that, but I'm definitely going to be there. But there's so much stuff coming out that weekend that I think probably Mary Poppins, and then we'll see where things go from there. On Aquaman, of course.
You, my friend,
Jason
can write
Momoa.
that.
Shirtless.
We'll be writing that Mary Poppins because I don't think. I mean,
I was like, I'm pretty sure that person's going to wait.
I
Jason Momoa. Shirtless.
That's
It's
her
going to-
3-word review.
My 3-word review. And then a collage of all the moments in his life he's been shirtless. No. Because he's also one of those people that as he's aged has just gotten better looking.
And
Yeah, no, he really did age well.
Oh,
And
he's aged so well.
one thing I love about Jason Momoa is that he's always giving his all.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously enjoying what he's doing. Like,
And he enjoyed himself in that Justice League movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, same thing with like.
And he looks like a happy-go-lucky guy a lot of the time, yeah.
It's impossible not to like him in my view.
Like I was iffy on Bad Batch, but he was fine in it. Like there's a movie called Braven that came out this year. He's actually really good in him and Stephen Lang. It's a little horror film, siege type movie. It's like 4 people and it's wonderful.
Is he shirtless?
He might be. I think so. I think him and Stephen Lang. So you got all that.
Sold.
But we made it all the way through. We've been recording for 2 hours at this point, which I'm gonna cut a bunch of it. We'll get better at staying on, but maybe I'll just put it up. No, it's good.
Or break it into second. Well, you could also make it a two-parter.
Yes, a two-parter for a second one.
And the title of the second part will be Jason Momoa shirtless.
But thank you for everyone who stuck around as we talked
Yeah, I know. If you're
a
still
lot about
fucking
some
here,
different movies
dude,
here.
I'm not even here. I don't listen to these.
I'm just thinking about Jason Momoa at this point, so we're good.
And any sound, we'll get sound worked out. We'll get plans worked out. And next time we're gonna be talking about the Halloween series.
Woo, woo.
Going through that before the new feature.
I will find a way to work in Jason Momoa being shirtless into that, though.
I'm sure we will.
It'll happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, he plays. He's in the new one. He plays Michael Myers. Shirtless.
Totally shirtless.
I am excited. Halloween.
It's the porn version of Halloween.
A dragon tattoo story. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Somehow she gets in there.
End of the movie, she just comes and beats the shit out of him.
40 years ago, you murdered 2 girls.
I could sound a little bit like the Bane voice, too. And then Venom's gonna hop in and say something about turds going down the street. And then Jason Momoa's gonna come out with no shirt, and then the crowd's gonna go wild. At least that was my dream.
If Michael Myers kills Dinesh D'Souza, I'll be happy.
Cool.
I think I'm going to link to him on Twitter this podcast. Dude, I talked about Michael Myers killing you.
They just sue the shit out of
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm going to link to Jason Momoa.
Shirtless.
We've been blocked on Twitter by him.
You know what, though? He seems like the type that would be like, yeah.
Yeah. You have to listen all the way to the end to talk.
Because how often does he ever put a shirt on? Very rarely. So somewhat, you have
He's like
to
the new Patrick
it.
Swayze in that way.
Yeah. You have to enjoy not wearing a shirt to not wear a shirt as often as he does.
Him, Anthony Kiedis, and Patrick Swayze got the shirtless
now I want to remake
trifecta.
a Roadhouse with Jason Momoa.
Shirtless.
I keep behind that. Well, it's like better than the remake of Crow he was supposed to be in with the director of
I was willing to give that a
director
shot.
of the Nun.
But it was like a fucking curse movie.
Yeah.
Nothing
just
went
let
right.
let it die. Let it die. But, and everyone's like looking at Tilly.
But
Let
she
it
thinks
die.
she might get fed now. She's like, is it time,
Maybe.
you crazy bitch? Give me my food.
All right, so let's go ahead and sign off and come see us online. This is Bob Foster.
This is Kim.
This is Cody.
And we are City of Geek, so thank you for listening to us, and we'll see you next time. Oh, I forgot to push record. No, I'm kidding.